You're great. You're great to remember that. Thank you very much, both of you. Thanks. Yes. Carolyn, you or you, sir?
I have a question.
Oh, yes, sweetie, go.
That's fine. First of all, I just want to make a really quick comment. I like your shoes.
And all women look at other women's shoes. Yes.
Quick question. Yes. What was the most awkward situation you found yourself in while filming Voyager?
What was the most awkward?
Yes. Like, as actresses and actors, you find yourself in horribly awkward situations all the time, but what was the most awkward for you?
During the run of Voyager?
Yes. Or
Are you kidding? Do you know how many alien species I had to deal with and keep a straight face at 5 o'clock in the morning? Awkward. It was a bit awkward when 7 of 9 came on. That was awkward for me. I loved Jen Lee, and I had developed this relationship with her, and then she was gone. And it seemed to me so sudden and so shocking that this remarkably and clearly beautiful and sexual creature had come to grace my ship with her sensuality. And I think, and I say this all the time now quite openly, it's my way of sharing with you my own terrible fractured nature and my own vulnerability about stuff and my own sometimes rigidity and inability to accept. I had hoped against hope that Paramount would be able to push through with a female captain without airing too much to the sexual. I had hoped this would truly have been breakthrough, right? While allowing for it within the ship. But they felt, I think, that they had to do this for the numbers. And that was terribly disappointing to me in the moment. And it took me about a year to get over that. It had nothing to do with Jerry Ryan, who is just a great beauty and a great girl. But it had everything to do with Kate Mulgrew reacting to what was going on. So I think in terms of awkwardness, I was a little surprised to find myself feeling what I felt. And the length of time it took me to understand and to overcome it. So I hope that answers your question. It's certainly very honest. Thank you. Hi. Big man.
I just have a couple of comments, and not really a question. I'm first humbled to be talking to you. I've worked at conventions for years. I'm on staff, and I have had the opportunity to sit in many panels, in many discussions. I've run some discussions before, and I've always found it interesting, number one, at the tone. I've heard you speak twice. At the tone you set when you come into a panel and stand on stage, versus some other very iconic figures that I very much adore on stage and on screen. Whereas, one cheers for them, the other cheers for their ego, and one cheers for them, and one cheers for their teeth. I'm sorry.
No name. Yes.
I'm sorry.
No,
but
you're
the
fine.
tone that you set when you walk on stage is so different. I mean, you don't hide behind the table. You speak to people as opposed to make this about them. I mean, you make it about everyone else. I think that's fantastic and speaks to your personality.
Thank you. Very nice.
I also dig your shoes. No. Number two.
Were you at Dragoncon yet? Did CJ wear shoes?
I saw that Dragoncon. Sorry, Aaron.
Dangerous.
He's going to kill me for that. Number two.
You're secretly very dangerous, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I grew up in a single-parent household. My mother raised me, put me through school, and she was a very strong character and influenced my life in more ways than I can imagine and that I will ever know. And when I first heard, Kate who? What? Star Trek? Kate who? I did some research, talking about, who's going to be the captain? Who? I didn't think anything of it. It did not occur to me that it was a monumental occasion that a woman was going to be helming, the starship. I was like, well, it didn't make that big of an impact on me because I thought, do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
I I was used to seeing, women in authority figure. That's why.
So it was no surprise to you that a woman did. I get it.
Exactly. Sorry.
Got it.
Like speaking Klingon, whatnot. And lastly, my last
I thought it was a poem for a minute.
And lastly, I've been a fan of all the Trek genres, starting with classic Trek, all up through Enterprise. And I have led panel discussions when I say that, and I step out on a limb when I say this, that I think Voyager spoke more back to the original, what the original spirit of Star Trek was.
Do you?
I do.
That makes me feel good.
I firmly believe that Voyager spoke more to Roddenberry's original dream and the spirit of what Star Trek was. You could not beg, borrow for all of your supplies. You had to make alliances. You couldn't call Starfleet for help. You're lost on your own. You could have gotten back quicker, but you still didn't have Starfleet ideals.
Couldn't find the gas station.
But you stood fast on your Starfleet ideals, even though that's what stranded you there to begin with. The characters. So, to me, I have loved Voyager for that reason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've absolutely made my day. Thank you very much. Very nice. Very nice. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Kay. Good. I do want to agree with the last gentleman. You are one of the most approachable stars in this entire convention, and I think it's why you have a line that's a mile long.
But why are you all kneeling?
So the camera can...
Oh, I thought it was a plane. Well, now this is really okay. You're a great guesser. What is your question?
But thank you again for being so approachable, and I think one of the other very influential women... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just don't quite understand that because, I mean...